The Stoic way to end toxic relationships. There are few things in life more painful than realizing that someone you once trusted, cared for, or even loved has become a source of suffering. We enter relationships with hope, the hope of finding joy, trust, and understanding. But sometimes, what we find instead is betrayal, manipulation, dishonesty, or constant negativity. And the hardest part, we often hold on. We tell ourselves, maybe they'll change. Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe I just need to try harder. But the more we cling, the more we suffer. But the Stoics saw relationships differently. They taught us that while we cannot control other people, we can control our response. And true freedom comes not from clinging, but from letting go of what harms us. Today, let's walk through the Stoic way to end toxic relationships, a path of clarity, courage, and ultimately, peace. 1. Recognizing what is in your control. Epictetus, the slave who became a philosopher, began his teachings with one principle. Some things are in our control, and others are not. You cannot control whether someone lies to you, manipulates you, or drains your spirit. You cannot force them to respect you, but you can control whether you allow them to remain in your life. Toxic relationships thrive when we forget this. We think we can fix them, change them, heal them. But a Stoic knows that trying to control another person is like trying to hold back the tide with your hands. Impossible. So the first step is simple. Ask yourself, what is mine to control here? The answer? Your choices, your standards, your boundaries. 2. Understanding the nature of people. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in his Meditations, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." He didn't say this to make us bitter, but to make us realistic. When someone treats you poorly, the Stoics remind you, this is not shocking. People act according to their character, not your wishes. Does that mean you must tolerate toxicity? No, but it does mean you don't have to take it personally. Their actions reflect them, not you. And when you understand this, letting go becomes easier. You walk away, not in anger, but in wisdom. 3. The courage to set boundaries. Toxic relationships often survive because of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of confrontation, fear of what life will look like without that person. But Seneca reminds us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. How much time is wasted enduring what corrodes the soul? Every day spent in a toxic relationship is a day stolen from peace, growth, and virtue. A Stoic sets boundaries, not from cruelty, but from self-respect. And when those boundaries are not respected, they have the courage to walk away. 4. Practicing detachment. At the heart of Stoicism lies a simple truth. all things are temporary. Relationships, like seasons, change. Some blossom, others wither. Epictetus taught us to hold everything lightly, because clinging breeds suffering. He said, when you kiss your child, say to yourself, tomorrow he may die. Not to make us cold, but to remind us nothing truly belongs to us. So when a relationship becomes toxic, detachment allows us to release it without hatred. You don't have to hate them. You simply accept this bond has run its course. It no longer serves virtue. It is time to let go. 5. Choosing virtue over comfort. Why do we stay in toxic relationships? Because they're familiar. Because even pain feels safer than the unknown. But the Stoics remind us, life's highest purpose is to live with virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. Ask yourself, is staying here wise, or is it self-deception? Is it courageous to endure mistreatment, or is it cowardice dressed as loyalty? Is it just to silently allow myself to be harmed? Virtue may demand the harder path, but it is the harder path that leads to freedom. 6. Letting go of the need for revenge. When someone hurts us, our instinct is often revenge. We want them to feel what we felt. But Marcus Aurelius counseled differently. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Ending a toxic relationship doesn't require cruelty. You don't need to destroy them, shame them, or punish them. Your liberation is revenge enough. To walk away without carrying poison in your heart, that is true victory. 7. Preparing for the pain of letting go. Here is the truth. Leaving will hurt. Even when it's the right choice, the heart will grieve. The Stoics never denied pain. They only reminded us, pain is not evil. Seneca wrote, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Often the fear of leaving is worse than the reality of leaving. Your mind imagines loneliness, regret, failure, but in truth, once the chain is broken, a lightness enters your life. A Stoic accepts grief, but does not let grief dictate their choices. 8. Rebuilding with self-sufficiency. One of the greatest Stoic lessons is this: happiness does not depend on others. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Others may not understand why you walked away. They may call you selfish, cold, or ungrateful. But a Stoic does not live for the approval of others. They live for inner freedom. And after ending a toxic bond, rebuilding means strengthening yourself. Journaling like Marcus Aurelius, practicing discipline, cultivating gratitude, and surrounding yourself with people who uplift, not drain. 9. Forgiving without reuniting. Forgiveness does not mean reunion. You can forgive someone and still never allow them back into your life. The Stoics knew that carrying grudges weighs down the soul. Forgiveness clears the heart of bitterness, but forgiveness does not erase wisdom. You forgive to free yourself, but you remember so you don't repeat. And 10. Walking forward in freedom. Ending a toxic relationship the Stoic way is not about anger. It is about reclaiming your life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You cannot control the past. You cannot rewrite what they did. But you can choose this. From this day forward, your life belongs to you." Every step away from toxicity is a step toward freedom. Every boundary you enforce is an act of courage. And every moment of
Each step you take towards your freedom, each moment of peace you reclaim, is proof that wisdom is stronger than fear. Ending a toxic relationship is never easy, but remember, freedom is not in clinging, freedom is in letting go. You owe it to yourself not to remain trapped in what destroys you, but to walk boldly toward what strengthens you. And so, when the time comes, don't fear the goodbye. Say it with dignity. Say it with wisdom. Say it with peace. Because this is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of your freedom.